Hello everyone, welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit more about fighting with a two-handed sword today. We're going to expand on some things that we covered in prior videos. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of talk about some of the same stuff I've been talking about, but from a slightly different perspective. I find that sometimes that helps people understand things better and visualize things better. And then we're going to expand upon that. Okay, so this pole over here pretty much represents your sword. Okay, so I find that this is a good way to give the viewer a perspective of what's actually happening. And basically, any fight with a two-handed weapon is about controlling the center line. Okay, so here I am now. If you look at the sword, right, basically, just by moving this sword about 6 inches to either side, I can pretty much defend my whole body. Okay, so that's why I say that fighting with any two-handed weapon is about controlling the center line. Now, in some of the historical manuals, they do show other guards where people start from up here, or from down here, or from here, or from here. And the question becomes, why would you ever want to start from those guards? Okay? Well, for one reason, if I'm out of range, and by out of range I mean that you have to take more than one step to be able to hit me. This is a lot more rested. Okay, so this is a lot more rested, a lot more comfortable for me to sit here and wait for you to do something. Okay. Now, another reason why I may want to take one of these guards, like especially a guard like this, is if, depending on what type of armor you might be wearing or not wearing, is going to determine how much power I have to put into my blow. If you are completely unarmored, okay, basically I can stand in the guard like this and basically just do a quick push-pull with my hands, and a short motion like this would be enough, especially if I did something like that to your hands, right? Basically I'm defending myself with this part of the blade while I'm attacking with that part of the blade up there. And with a motion like this where I'm attacking to your hands, my guard is defending me here, and I'm attacking at your hands. A short motion like that will be effective. However, if you're wearing a mail or leather, okay, that may not be as effective. So in a case like that, I'm going to have to, basically use my hips, use my hips to generate power, and perhaps step in to generate power. Okay, so depending on what you're wearing is going to determine how hard I have to swing at you. Okay, so in some cases I might have to actually start from a guard back here, or back here, a tail guard, or a hard guard like this, or with these hanging guards here, we're basically just swinging around and you're attacking to that side. And the same thing is happening here. As I'm swinging around from one side to the other, this part of my blade, okay, is defending while I'm attacking. Okay, so that's something that we cannot lose sight of. Basically you have to defend and attack in the same motion. Okay, so that's one of the things I wanted to cover in this video, why you may want to start from back here. And I may need to start from back here with a high guard, because I may need to generate more power if you're wearing mail armor. Okay, now we're not talking about plate armor, because we're talking about plates. Basically then I have to specifically target openings in your in your armor. Okay, but for most of history, people did not wear plates. They usually wore mail or leather. So usually when we talk about plate armor, like full plate, like we see in the 15th century, that period only lasted for about 150 years. Okay, 150 years. At the time that we see plate armor on the battlefield, we also see guns on the battlefield. So knights quite quickly figured out that the plate, while giving them defense against swords, made them slow-moving targets, to musket men. Okay, so that's why my focus is basically on earlier periods where people are mostly wearing mail and percussive blows. You know, you're not going to cut through mail, but you can certainly break bone through mail, especially if you're hitting the clavicle, you know, the forearms, the arms, the shins. You know, you can break bones through mail. Okay, so that's the type of fighting that I primarily focus on. So what I want to talk about next is seizing the initiative, because in earlier videos, you know, I talked about basically, you know, most of the strikes that you make, regardless of where you stand from, you know, where you start from, like even if I start from a hanging guard like this, from out of range, and I tack in here, we're going to basically end up in this bind, okay, this cross, where basically we're fighting for this center, okay. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is where the center is. You know, defeating somebody has a lot to do with, you know, with basically with deception. Okay, if I'm standing in front of you right here, the center is, you know, right there where our swords meet. Okay, so if I can step a little bit to the side, what I've done is I've really changed where the center is. You know, when I'm standing here, the center is specifically right there. How, you know, so basically both of us are equally defended. However, if I can step a little bit to the side here, now the center is right there. My sword is there blocking me, you know, and it's blocking my body. However, if you don't shift to meet me, you know, you're no longer in the center. So I have control of the center by moving to the sides. Okay, so by moving to the sides, I'm changing where the center is so I can gain control of it. Okay. Now, a very important concept in fighting with a two-handed sword is seizing the initiative. Because basically, if I sit here in the center, okay, I'm blocked, right? If you start attacking me, right, I can move my sword, okay, block, 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 block. I can just keep, you know, I only got to move my sword just a little bit to the side, right? And I can block almost all of your incoming blows. However, if I am just blocking, eventually you're going to get me, okay? If I'm just on defense and I'm allowing you to stay on offense, eventually you're going to hit me. I might block you 99 times and you might hit me in the 100th time, okay? So I need to seize the initiative in order to defeat you, okay? Now, basically, when we think of a strike, basically we call that a fencing time. So, for example, you know, this is one fencing time here. This is a second fencing time. You know, this is a third fencing time. So basically, think of a fencing time as a, you know, as if you were playing chess. You know, a movement. Okay, so basically, and that's an important concept, because every time I move, you also have the opportunity to move, okay? So what's happening is, if I'm just on defense, right, and you attack me, right, one fencing time, you attack me, if I use that to you know, if I use my turn or my fencing time to block and don't do anything, basically I've used up my turn. So now it's back to you. You know, you take your turn. If I just block, you know, I just used up my turn, okay? So in order for me to seize the initiative, okay, I need to basically do something that defends and attacks in the same motion, okay? So if you attack me, right, and I step to the side and step in while I'm doing this, I'm blocking you and attacking you in the same motion, right? Because basically by stepping to the side, my blade is now able to hit you, okay? So in one fencing time, I have both blocked and attack you, okay? And that's what we're looking for. That's what it takes to win a fight. It's, you know, what we don't want is tick, 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 back and forth. You know, what we want is, you know, basically I want to cheat. You know, I want to take, you know, if this were a chess game, I want to be able to make two movements in my turn, okay? So I don't want to just take one movement. I want to do something that's going to give me, you know, that's going to allow me to get ahead, all right? So for example, if you attack me, you know, I want to, you know, come up, I'm blocking and attacking at the same time, okay? And that's basically the key to winning a fight with a two-handed sword, all right? I hope that clarified a few things for you guys. If you got any questions, please post them. Any comments, you know, by all means, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I'll talk to you guys next time.